Hello, I'm Joanne Kelly, a journalism instructor here in Winnipeg, and I'm defending Lesser Known Monsters of the 21st Century by Kim Fu. And I need to start out by just saying, I am tired. I'm so tired. I woke up at 2 this morning, was awake for hours before I fell asleep just before my alarm went off. And I know that some of you watching right now are tired. We're all tired right now. I'm sitting here drinking a Diet Coke to keep awake. This pandemic, being an adult in the 21st century, is exhausting, and the stats back it up. Since the pandemic, about 3/4 of Canadians say they're exhausted. So what does it have to do with Kim Fu's book? Well, I want to read a brief excerpt from one of her stories called The Sandman. Now in adulthood, everyone complained about not sleeping enough, not sleeping well. They stayed up to work, they stayed up to worry. The baby kept them up. They got caught up in a TV show or fell down an internet rabbit hole. Who could rest in these troubled times? Insomnia is a monster of the 21st century. So what Kim Fu has done beautifully, she's captured the visceral anxiety, in this case about insomnia, but really about our modern human condition, much the same way Mary Shelley caught the zeitgeist of her culture with Frankenstein. So what she's done is she's upended the monster story. In The Sandman, Kelly can't sleep, and the monster literally comes to sit on her bed, and she describes him quite horrifically. So there are true monsters in this book. The figure climbed onto Kelly's bed on his hands and knees. He traveled up her body until his face, where his face would have been, hovered over hers. In the darkened room, she stared into the featureless hole at the center of his hood. So that is an actual monster in this story, but to me, the real monster in this story is Kelly's coworker, her tedious coworker who traps her in the elevator, who traps her by the water cooler to ask her about her sleep hygiene. Like, ugh, we all have that coworker, right? And that is another level of monster in this book. So Kim's writing is brilliant, and it's funny, and it's horrific, it's touching, and it's really moving as well. And I'm not even sure how to categorize these stories. Dystopian, sure. Horror, sci-fi, crime fiction. I'll tell you the twist in #Climbing Nation is Hitchcock at his best. So yes, her stories fit into all those categories, but like all brilliant writing, Kim transcends the genre. And she tells us something new and relevant about our human condition in the 21st century. We are dealing with our own modern nightmares: insomnia, social media, technology, influencers, isolation, climate change, artificial intelligence. Her stories have real monsters in them: a haunted doll, a sea monster, this hooded sandman, an infestation of insects. But the real monsters are grief, loneliness, regret, love, our need for connection. So what makes this book and these stories worthy of the Giller? Kim Fu's empathy, her understanding of what moves us and why. Oh, and her writing is gorgeous. It is sharp. It is grounded in such banal reality while swimming in the depths of surreal fantasy. The very first story will stay with you. It is it's simply a dialogue, very simple. A conversation between a by-the-books VR, virtual reality operator, and a woman who's grieving the death of her mother. And all she wants is to relive a very banal moment, just to walk through a botanical garden. But the virtual operator can't let her do that. It's against the rules. So they navigate and they dance as they try to negotiate, and the result is beautiful. And as someone who, I had to put my dog down yesterday, and I would give anything for one more banal moment with Mia. So capturing that grief, the overpowering sense of that minute loss, is beautiful. And I will tell you, the best opening line in a story, this had me at the opening line, story called 20 Hours. After I killed my wife, I had 20 hours before her new body finished printing downstairs. 20 hours goes deep into the darkest corners of marriage. It explores the love, the lust, the boredom, the resentment when a couple invests in a new toy. It's a printer that can spit out a new copy of your partner moments after death. So over the years, the couple ends up killing each other many times. And the husband has poisoned his wife, and he says, I had poisoned her, a great wallop of poison in her morning coffee. So I didn't have the defense of passion, a momentary loss of reason. Poison took forethought. Poison said, I wanted to be apart from you for a while. Then why not just leave the house? Why not go for a walk? No, said more than that. Poison said, I want you not to exist for a while. I want to move through the world without you in it. And if that doesn't say something about the true connection in a marriage, both the dark and the beautiful, the love, but also the resentment and the boredom. So she captures so much of the beauty and ugliness that live side by side in life. And what kind of a monster is puberty? Oh, she captures the beauty and horror of it. Those last magical threads of childhood. In the story, Liddy First to Fly, Liddy and her friends discover that Liddy's got these bulbs growing on her ankles and she's growing wings. There was a way in which Liddy's wings didn't strike us as extraordinary. The realm of pretend had only just closed its doors to us, and light still leaked around the edges. Everything was baffling and secretive then, especially our own bodies, sprouting all kinds of outgrowths that were meant to be hidden, desperately ignored and not discussed, hairs and lumps that could be weaponized against us. On some level, it seemed like this would just be part of Liddy's eventual adulthood, tucking her wings beneath sensible slacks and off to the office, just as our mothers scooped and flattened and plucked themselves raw. So ultimately, Kim Fu's stories will make you uneasy. They're going to push the boundaries and push you out of your comfort zones, the boundaries of sexual freedom, the boundaries of grief, the boundaries of marriage. They're going to make you uncomfortable. What she's doing is she's reshaping the way we look at our humanity, past, present, and future. So I'm going to leave you with a reading from her very last story, which is, it doesn't mention COVID, but it's a pandemic that takes away our sense of taste. And just imagine what that would do to the economy if we can't taste ice cream, wine, cheese, chocolate. But what it does to our culture, our sense of who we are as people when you can't have the memory of tasting mom's apple pie. So Allie, the main character in this book, sets up a service to help people capture those memories. The upcoming generation doesn't care. They've built their own culture around different sensations, but the people demanding Allie's service will be gone in a generation. She doesn't create sensations. She awakens the memory of them. And only in those who are primed for it, who want badly to return to those memories, who want to believe. There are internet rumors about unaffected, isolated communities in the Amazon, but Allie knows these will turn out apocryphal in the end. The sensuous, life-affirming pleasures upon which whole cultures were built, which caused empires to rise and fall, will die with Allie and her peers. So at the end of the day, Lesser Known Monsters of the 21st Century by Kim Fu deserves the Giller for capturing for an entire generation what it means to be human and the monsters that we're dealing with. Thank you.